Welcome in. It is day 80 and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. Today, we're going to be going over a big Kickstarter for me. I was all in on this game, picked it up with all of its expansions. It was such an exciting looking game. I actually was so pumped about it that when it came in and I wasn't going to get it until the following Monday because it was Friday and the distribution center wasn't sending it out, and I saw it wasn't that far, I drove to the distribution center and picked it up directly from them just so I could play it that weekend. That game is Keyflower. Keyflower is interesting. The concept of the game is you're going to go through 4 seasons. And in each season, you're going to, depending on number of players, shuffle up and put out so many random hexagons up top. Everybody is going to get a player mat, or a player hexagon, a starting spot, and a player building that hides all your meeples and all the extra pieces you get. And you're going to be randomly selected at the beginning of the game from a bag and given so many meeples. Your meeples are either red, yellow, or blue. Now, I was surprised off the bat that we're getting multiple meeple colors. I was like, wait a minute, we're not one color? How does this work? It was an interesting setup because this is where the hexagons, well, is it hexagon or whatever you call a 6-sided one, this is where this comes into place because, yes, hexagon 6. What happens is all of these are set up in the middle of the board so that each side of the hexagons are faced towards somebody specific. So that represents your side. Whoever's the first to go will say, okay, I'm going to go place a red meeple here. Once you've done that, that hexagon belongs to red. So nobody else can bid on it if they don't bid red. When somebody else goes, they're now going to go, okay, I want to go bid a blue over here. I'm going to bid a yellow over here. Right? Red, yellow, blue. Is that right? Yeah. So you do your bids, but then somebody's eventually going to outbid you. Hey, I'm going to bid 2 on it. All right, well, now my guy stays there, and he only moves if I choose to move him. I can move him to another spot, and I can also throw a person in with him. So I could go like, I'm going to move him and add 1 to him and go here. Or I can leave him there. But let's say I come back and I go, oh, okay, well, he outbid me, so I'm going to add 2 more, and I'm now outbidding him, 3-2. He has the same option. The difference is you cannot split 2. Once you've committed 2 workers to a location, you either leave them there or you move them together to a new location. And that is your only options with them. Now, you can do the outside bidding to buy a location. But even though they're up for sale, they're also active. So you can also put your meeples inside and use the location. So you might say, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to bid 1 person, and I'm going to use this action that says I'm going to get a piece of wood. Now, the wood can't stay there because it's currently a public domain. So it has to come to your village, and it goes to your home spot. If you've already built your village out at all, it doesn't matter. It goes to your home spot. Then, if anybody else wants to go there, the rule is this. On your first bid, you can bid as many people as you want. On the next bid, somebody has to bid at least 1 more than you. The actual hexagon can never hold more than 6 people. So if I bid 1, you bid 2, somebody else bids 3, that's it. We've had 3 actions there. The most actions anywhere will ever be 3. But if somebody decides, I really don't want to see this person getting in there, they could decide, well, you know what then? I'm going to bid 3 right off the bat, get the action, and then nobody else can ever go there because you'd have to bid 4, and that would be 7. So you have that option. It's not a good option. I've never done it, but I've seen people bid 2 to prevent others from having too much hit there. So you have that option. And then when you actually start to collect your items, this is where it gets interesting. So when you collect, first what you do is you go, okay, here is a hexagon. You bid the most people, so you're going to get it. Everybody else who bid there, your people return home. You get them back, you put them behind your square. Then the person who won, your people are exhausted. So they go back into the community pool because they actually did the work and got it. Then you bring it in, and if anybody bid inside of it to get it, those meeples are now your workers. They were working at your location. They got the stuff to the person who wanted it. But in exchange, they had gone and worked at somebody else's village, and now they belong to the village. You go through all 6 of your options. I usually play with people that we have enough for 6 of these. And when you're done with it all, you figure out what you're, at least now you all have an idea as to what meeples are behind your thing. On top of that, you have to now mix it in and fit this to your village. You have to connect it so that they have the roads connecting. You're not blocking anything off of water or roads or walls. And now you have to be aware that if you or somebody else, because somebody can come work in your village. So somebody might say, I really need gold. He has a really good gold spot. I'm going to do it. The exchange is anytime that somebody comes to your village, you get their meeple going forward. But the loss is that they're using your village. But if you use your village, the tough thing about it is that whatever you make in a spot stays in the spot. So unlike going to a neighbor's village or going to the community pool, if I go to a location and it says make 3 wood, the 3 wood drops right there. And the reason that's important is that every single one of these tiles can upgrade. And to do an upgrade, you have to have all of the resources required in that location. Your home square, when it starts, is going to give you numbers that basically say you can move 2 times and you can move X amount of stuff. So, or you can do so many upgrades. So 2 times would mean I can move 1 item 2 spots or 2 items 1 spot. And so that if you say upgrade your home tile, you might get to like, oh, now I can hit a 4. But eventually you might see that somebody has like a stagecoach come out and that one's like a 6. And these are big because as your village grows, it's harder and harder to get resources where they need to be so that you can properly upgrade them. You really have to be all in on making sure that your village is attainable in its movement. So you go through each season. When you eventually get to the 4th season, which is winter, winter is interesting because winter, you all were dealt winter tiles before you even saw the first season. You all got dealt them, you saw your options, and when it gets to the end of the game, you have to choose. You can at least put 1 out, but you could put all of them out. So you could end up having the smallest season or the biggest season that you've seen, because you could end up having just 3 out there, or you could end up having like 9 out there. You all choose, you decide if you're going to put any out. This is giving you ability to strategize because these don't get added to your village. These are going to be scoring. So it might be like, hey, whoever has, if you have this, you get so many points for every wood that you have in your village. Or if you have this one, you're going to get so many points, like you're going to get 1 point more for every gold you had. You're already getting a point or 2 points. You're now going to get 3 points. This one might say you're going to get a point for every single tile that you've flipped. Or this one's like every meeple you own. So there's a bunch of scoring there. You also have down the side during this boats and player turns. So if nothing changes, everybody just gets their regular player turn. But if you choose to bid, you could say, I want to go first next round, and you could bid on a location and get the first marker, and now you're going to be the one that leads off. Or you could send them, and the reasoning for that importance really is it decides who picks what for the boats. The boats, each boat is designed with a random amount of meeples and a random amount of extra things like, hey, I've got a wood carver or I've got a blacksmith. And they get tossed on there and like, all right, this one's really good. It's got like 7 meeples and like 2 of these, but this one's got 3 meeples. It's not that good. So you're really after those. And the player count allows you to pick those in a different order than what it currently is. So that's important because you really want to get in there and get that if you can. And then what's even more interesting is as you get these random hexagons to your village, some of them are going to give you the option to get wilds. There are greens. A green is set up that if you get it, then a green is an all new color to be added to your community. Other people can get it too, but it's tough because if you're the only one with the green, you can win by just putting a single green on a bidding spot and nobody can ever get it. And that means you can go to a place and you can say, I'm going to go into this spot and use it. And nobody else can ever use it because I use my 1 green there. And if you invest all in greens, it could be a huge, huge success. All right, there's a lot more to this game. It's very big. I can only talk about it for so long. We're almost 10 minutes in here. So why don't we jump into our categories? Category 1, the art. I really like the art. I think that the art hits really well. I think that the box is what sold me. I think the board sold me. It's a thumbs up on the art. Your components. Your components are primarily your meeples, which are loads of wood. And then there's your hexagons. And then there's your little like wood carvers and blacksmiths, which are all cardboard. Big thumbs up. They're all great quality. Your price. Now, I paid $100 for this game, but I paid for literally this size box and then 2 other size boxes of the same size that are expansions, all in a big package. So this box is more likely to be coming out in that 60 range, and I think that it's probably going to dip a little bit these days. It's been out for a few years. It's probably more in the 50 range now. I think that you're never going to find this at a Target. You're never going to find it at Barnes & Noble. And to be honest, I don't know if you're really going to find it in most board game stores. I don't think it was a Kickstarter exclusive, but I don't think that this game, they make so much from this company that I just don't feel like this game is necessarily going to be seen often. It's more likely an online buy, but I think you're getting a lot in here, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I think it's a thumbs up on the price for me, because it's definitely worth it for me. The 100 paid out, and I haven't even gotten to the second expansion yet. Your difficulty. It's not difficult to learn. You have a good time playing, and I think that it's a game that you can pick up pretty quick. I played it with my older sister and her husband, and one of my younger sisters, along with me and my wife. Me and my wife love it. And by the end of the game, everybody seemed to understand what they were doing. So I think for them, not being big into the game's aspect and this being a pretty deep dive for a beginner, they picked it up. And so I think this is one that experts, experienced, and beginners can play. Kids, no. I'm going to kick the kids out. But those 3 levels can play, and they're going to enjoy it. Thumbs up. Replayability. This was one of my most replayed as far as picking it for my family. I played it online for, I think it was, I think Board Game Arena has it, so we played it once or twice there during the pandemic. I haven't gotten it physically in front of my friends yet. We need to pick it there because we all really like the game. I think this does have replayability. It's just, know your group, know your sizing. It's hard. We want to pick it, and yet we keep having games we haven't played yet that we want to play. So that's why it keeps getting pushed back. But I'm going to give it a thumbs up on the replayability. Your keys to victory. There's all sorts. You can commit to going all out after meeples. You can commit to going all out after your locations in your town. You can commit to going all out on trying to get the resources built, on going for upgrades, on committing to the long term for your victory points and your boats. There's a lot of options, and I don't feel any of them are 100% required. I do think that it's very obvious that if you're not going for a combo of your meeples and your hexagons, that's going to hurt you if you're just committing to, oh, well, I'll just keep on committing to getting resources, but I don't really have anything to spend them on. Unless you have like a lot of luck, if you do that and you don't get the right flips in round 3, you're probably screwed. But overall, I do think it's pretty even and that you can win in a lot of ways. So thumbs up on those keys to victory. Unique. I do think this game's unique. The hexagons aren't unique. The building of a location isn't unique. The connecting and having to make sure all that works, that's not unique. Having meeples isn't unique. But having meeples of multiple colors that everybody owns, and the way they're bid both in and out of a hexagon, and the way that they can be taken into a village and owned, that to me is extremely unique, and I haven't replicated that anywhere else. That gives me the experience I get when playing this game. So it's a thumbs up on unique. Overall, what do I think of this game? I think this game is 100% worth trying. Don't jump out and buy it. This isn't a game I think you should just add to your collection willy-nilly. You need to take a moment, look up how to play, watch a playthrough maybe, or go and find a place or a person that has it that you can try the game yourself, and then make that decision. But I do think that the game is really good and that you need to try it. But that's just my opinion. It's up to you guys to get out there, make the decision for yourself, see if it's something that even grabs you, and if it is, maybe it is worth your time and worth your money. Well, this has been day 80. We've been speaking about the game Keyflower, and you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding in an Amazon link so that if you do want to play this game, you can try it out. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.